Hello, my name is Robin Sanford, and I will be talking about Afro-Argentines. This topic is a bit controversial, considering various public officials of Argentina have repeatedly stated that Black people do not exist in Argentina and have gone through lengthy measures to whitewash their history. But Afro-Argentines are very much alive and trying their best to thrive in an environment where they are not wanted. The slave trade to Argentina began in the 16th century until the 1820s. Slavery in Argentina was abolished in 1812. However, the slave trade continued illegally for about 8 to 10 years. A common slave route was from West and Central Africa to the Portuguese ports of Luanda and Benguela, and then out to places such as the Rio de Janeiro and Salvador and Brazil, where they would enter the ports of Buenos Aires or Montevideo. It is said by the 19th century, more than 50 African nations existed within the city of Buenos Aires under the name African nations. The impacts of slavery can still be seen in Argentinian culture today and can be seen in their poetry, music, photography, languages, and dances such as the tango, bailador, milonga, and the candombe. As time progressed, Afro-Argentines became the focus of government. Under former President Domingo Sarmiento, Black men were enlisted in large numbers to fight in the Paraguayan War. Black death accounted for more than half of the mortality rates, and consequently, the Black male population had plummeted. Away from the battlegrounds, Black populations were faced with segregation, mass incarceration of Black males for minor offenses, mass executions, and yellow fever. During this time, President Sarmiento opened Argentina and promoted the immigration of white Europeans into the country. These white males began mating with Argentina's Black women, and the genocide of the Black phenotype had begun. Argentina then went through various processes of erasing Black people from their history, even going as far as repainting people in famous paintings white. This process was called blanqueamiento. And the image of the left, and the image on the left is President Sarmiento. On the image in the right is a painting by Modestos Blancos in 1895. It is called The Redemption of Ham, and the painting depicts a Black grandmother, a mulatto mother, a white father, and their quadroon child, hence 3 generations of racial hypergamy through whitening. By the 19th century, many of these aspects were beginning to be whitewashed or hidden. Dances such as the candombe were originally danced during street carnivals, became dances performed in the house. Afro history proceeded to be erased from the books as well as Afro characteristics. In a short film produced by Green in 2018, the producer asks various people's questions regarding Blacks in Argentina. A woman simply responds, "It's no people from Africa." No, meaning that there are no Blacks living in Argentina. But as the film progresses, a man named Angel Acosta Martinez discusses how his brother died from racially motivated police brutality due to his dark complexion, saying that racism in Argentina is dead and very much alive. In another scene, a woman named Jessica Salinas La Madrid discusses how colorism in Argentina is another big problem, stating people often equate Blackness to being bad and avoid claiming their African roots at all costs. In relation to Lecture Three's video, Colorism in the Forgotten Slave Trade, we can see how colorism can harm the Black community in more ways than we think. Former government officials in Argentina hold the same views that officials in the video hold, stating that whiteness is equated to superiority. And this led to color becoming a fixed thing, and then characteristics being thrown onto this fixed thing. This can be related directly to religion, such as the curse of Ham, and linked directly back to slavery. The African and Black diaspora is vast and can be seen around the world, from the people themselves to their cultures, languages, arts, and music that are heavily influenced by African ancestry. Like many African people of this Since Afro-Argentines have endured a brutal history of being underrepresented and purposely left out. In relation to Week Two's lecture, Afro-Argentines often see themselves as an oppressed nation without a homeland, and in relation to how they see themselves versus how they see others. Jessica from the previous clip explains it quite well. Black is seen as bad or wrong, while white is right. But in retrospect, as Jessica says, the pigment of your skin does not define one's characteristics. The research project that I would like to propose would be in the field of psychology or anthropology. And researchers would take a closer look at the impacts that an erased history has on Afro-Argentines. A couple of focuses would be: how has Argentines' erasure of Black existence affected Afro-Argentines and their family history? And what are the lasting impacts of Blackamiento? And how does this affect the psyches of men and women who are raising dark children? This is my reference list. And thank you for tuning in to my presentation.